Miami Heat Nation, what is going on? So, in today's video, we are going to be talking about this one individual trade that will change the whole Miami Heat's franchise for good, involving Bam Adebayo. Now, obviously, this trade is hypothetical, probably not going to happen, but I'm very curious to see what you guys think about it. But before we do start today's video, if you guys enjoy Miami Heat content, we do upload every single day. And our goal this year is to upload for 365 days. So I couldn't do without you guys. I just want to say I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Continue to keep liking, sharing, subscribing, all that good stuff. And let's get back in today's video. So before I present this trade, I do want to talk about Bam Adebayo. I do see a lot of you guys' comments either saying trade Tyler Hero, trade Bam Adebayo if we can't land a star player. And then there's some people saying, even if we land a star player, let's not even try to land a star player. Sorry. Let's just move on from Bam and Tyler. Let's get a bunch of draft picks and start over. Now, I'm not disagreeing with you guys. Trust me, I'm not. I'm not the biggest fan of Tyler, and Bam Adebayo offensively is not that great. He's great defensively, of course, but offensively, we've seen a decline this year. You know what I mean? And so I'm not against it. When you look at the Oklahoma City Thunder, look how they built their team. And they still have 20 picks in the next 5 years. They're in the NBA Finals right now, still have 20-plus picks. So picks run this league. They do. And if your players are not playing up to par like we paying them to, move on for them. So this year, Bam Adebayo averaged about 18 points a game, 9.6 rebounds, 4.3 assists, shooting 48% from the field. It's okay, but not the best. As you see, his last game, his plus minus was a negative 33. And to be fair, everybody had a terrible plus minus. They got blown out, but he didn't really do much in the postseason either. And so this is why people are saying, let's move on from Bam. Now you're probably wondering, stop talking, Trent, show me the trade. Okay, perfect. We're going to break down this trade. And so it says, if the Heat were to gauge the three-time all-defensive team selection this summer, obviously Bam Adebayo, the organization could rather easily ship him out for a package consisting of Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sochan, and up to 4 first-round picks. Now, Devin Vassell. Let's start off with Devin Vassell before we get to the draft capital, right? Devin Vassell is a solid player in this league. He is. He's very, very good. Devin Vassell this year averaged about 16 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 44% from the field, 6'5", weighs about 205 pounds. His career regular season, he shot about 37% from the three-point line, 44% from the field, 79% from the free throw line. Averaged about 1.3 steals a game. His career has averaged about 14 points a game. Very, very solid. And he's only 24 years old. So think about that, guys. Has a lot of improvements, but he already showed that he could be a very good player in this league. Now, what I will say is we're going to look at his contract before, we move on to the next guy, just to see what he's working with and, how much money the dude's making. So he's making about $27 million, 27, 24, 27. So as you see, this is not bad at all. His money is going down and it kind of goes back up. But 25, 26 makes $27 million. 26, 27 stays about 27. 27, 28, it drops from 24 back to 27 and 28, 29. Love it. Like I said, he is still fairly young, has a lot of potential, has a lot of growth, and I feel like he can fit this Miami Heat culture, especially again around the younger guys and, Kel'el Ware, Pallel Larson, and potentially this 20th pick. So don't mind this option, not one bit. Now, some people probably not the biggest fans of Jeremy Sochan, and that's fine. Maybe they probably want another piece besides Jeremy Sochan, but he averaged about 11 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, 2.4 assists, shooting 53% from the field. He is 6'8", about 230, and he's still fairly young, only 22 years old. So he still has a lot of growth of getting. Now, he's not the greatest three-point shooter, nor the best free throw shooter, but he did change his free throw routine, and now he shoots with one hand. So it went up from 69%. Three-point percentage is about 30%, 53% from the field, 25 minutes of action, 0.8 steals, 0.5 blocks. He's the type of player that kind of does everything. Those type, and I feel like he kind of could fit the Heat culture, brings in the size and stuff like that. So not against it. Probably some people probably want Keldon Johnson or maybe their point guard over there, but I doubt that happens. But first, I'm going to want to show you the contract situation for Jeremy Sochan. So Jeremy Sochan, not making that much money, 5.5 million, 7 million, 9 million. So you're bringing in some two solid guys for the Bam Adebayo piece. But the main part of this trade is the draft capital. And I keep talking about draft capital, draft capital, draft capital. The Miami Heat, if they get 4 first-round picks off Bam Adebayo with 2 very solid players that are still very, very young that can still potentially grow with the Miami Heat, this will be awesome. 4 first-round picks, that's how you restart your franchise and build it all up again, especially that the Miami Heat probably won't be that good. They won't. We won't. If you trade Bam and bring in Vassell and Sochan, you're not going to be a very, very good team. You're not. But that's fine because now we restart, free up all the cap situation, get all the younger guys in, possibly get a top 5 pick depending how bad we are. And that's what we want to do, right? That's if this team don't go out here and land a star, or even if we do not want to land a star, move on from these players. We have to, because Bam and Tyler are not going to get the job done. I said this before in other videos. Having Bam and Tyler on your team is like, we're always going to be around that 6 through 10 range, meaning we're never going to really get a good draft pick. You can't rebuild your team if you don't really have a good draft pick. That's how the NBA works, unless you get lucky. There's teams that do get lucky, but we have to be in a draft lottery. It wasn't a draft lottery. Look at the Dallas Mavericks. They do land the number 1 pick. All I'm saying is I'm not against this trade. If you give me 4 first-round picks for Bam Adebayo, I'm definitely having conversation with the San Antonio Spurs. Simple. I know a lot of people are probably going to have the problem with what they're receiving outside of the 4th-round picks. But like I said, if you watch Devin Vassell and you watch Jeremy Sochan play, those are very, very solid players. The San Antonio Spurs are not going to give us Stephon Castle. They're not. That's not realistic. Keldon Johnson, Vassell, Sochan, 4 first-round picks. I like that. I like that. But, obviously it's more to it. Like it's harder to get it done and stuff like that. But, Keldon Johnson didn't have the best season this past year, which I'm going to show his stats on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. His numbers definitely did drop, right? He averaged about 13 points a game, 4.8 rebounds, 1.6 assists, 48% from the field. But if you go back into the prior years, he was a 22-point scorer to 15.7 to 12.7. That's obviously because they had more scores heading over there, didn't play as much minutes and stuff like that. But he's a good player. Throughout his career, always averaged about double-digit points, always shot good from the field. Not a great 3-point shooter this year, but throughout the year, shot about 34.6, round up to 35, got rebounds, averaged about 5 rebounds and stuff like that. So I understand this is a hypothetical trade, but man, if the Spurs call us to give me 4 first-round picks for Bam Adebayo, I'm doing it in a heartbeat. But let me know what you guys think. Continue to keep liking, sharing, subscribing. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And I'm